Welcome back to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, host of the program. And this is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate. It does it with Barb Schlinker, the owner broker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Barb, in this market, there are many more homes that are not selling. What are ways that a home seller can get the most money when they are selling their home?
Well, a lot of people tend to want to price their homes high for negotiating room, but that's the worst thing you can do, especially in a market that's somewhat soft or mushy like this one is. And there's a lot more, almost 30% more homes on the market than there were a year ago. There's a lot of buyers just waiting for the right deal. So, the way you get the most money is to make sure that you're priced right, that you're promoted properly, and that you're the best available home on the market right now. So that means you got to take a really sharp look at not only what has sold in the past, but what's currently available right now to make those decisions about how to get the most money when you sell. And there are actually 5 key ways to do it. First of all, you want to make sure that you have like a plan that will save you a lot of money. Nothing can be more frustrating for home sellers to put their house on the market and show it week after week after week and not have any offers. That's very disappointing for home sellers, and a lot of times they don't understand. Well, I put my house on the market. Why aren't there showings? Why aren't there offers? It could be a lot of things. It could be one thing. It could be maybe a couple of things, but you have to make sure in all aspects that you get everything right, the right condition, the right price. Now, that doesn't mean it has to be remodeled. I will say that we've sold quite a few homes that were not, all fluffied up and looking really great. Nope, not necessarily. If the seller prices it right, we can get a buyer, and we can get a buyer fast. But you have to understand it's a different price. It's not full market value if you have deferred maintenance. Most buyers want to move in, drop their stuff, and get on with their lives. So 40% of them won't even look at a home that needs work. However, if it's a better house that falls into their budget, they're willing to do it. So it's all about pricing. That's probably the most important thing to become the best deal on the market. The other thing that's absolutely critical is hiring an agent that knows how to market. I get a lot of people calling me wanting me to rescue them from whatever their agent is doing for various reasons. And I can't do much while they're under an agreement with them, but afterwards I definitely can. And we'll sit down with them and we'll show them, what were the reasons why it didn't sell. We'll show them what the market's doing, and then they can make their best decision. And you have to understand, your very first showing is on the internet. It's like online speed dating. You only have seconds to make an impression. And there's certain pictures that have to be there first. Curb appeal, the backyard, the living room, the kitchen, the master bathroom, and the master bedroom. If you only have less than a minute for them to flip through those pictures, they better be the first 5 or 6, and they better be really good, because we know that buyers sometimes eliminate homes in less than 57 seconds. I talk to them all the time about this, and they'll tell me, oh, yeah, sometimes the first picture, I'm gone. And, it's interesting to me that I don't know what it is about the real estate industry, but there's no standardization, there's no how to, there's no job description. Each agent creates their own job description or how to in their mind. And it could be right and it could be wrong. I just know that you have to win the buyer's hearts and mind first online. If they don't like what they see online, they will not leave their fuzzy bunny slippers and come check out their house. They just won't waste the time or the gas money to do it. Okay. So it's simple mistakes like this photo I'm showing you right now. The shower curtain's closed. You know what that means? Oh, there's probably mold back there. That's what the buyers think. The rugs on the floor are ugly. The kitty litter box would probably eliminate about 60% of the buyers. And then Kitty has her own toilet paper here. You've got all this clutter on the counter. And clearly you've got the listing agent in the photo in the mirror. So she was too cheap to take professional photos. She didn't know how to properly stage it. This whole condo was poorly marketed, and it was sitting on the market during the boom where it should have flown off the shelf. But instead, the agent told the seller to lower the price. But that wasn't the problem. It was already priced aggressively. She just didn't know how to win the hearts and minds of the buyers on the internet, and therefore it didn't sell. It doesn't take much to win over a buyer. And the whole idea behind marketing is not to show them every nook and cranny of the home. It's to get them there and maybe have a few really exciting surprises after they get there. And people just don't study it. Plus, we have our multiple listing services that puts a kind of wrench in the marketing game. They have some really stupid rules. Like if you're looking at a big piece of land, we're not allowed to put the line around it so you can show the boundary of the land. Oh, can't do that. We also, if we're going to virtually stage an empty room, we have to include the pictures of the empty rooms, which in my view tells the whole world that it's empty and invites vandalism. So I have a way around it. And so far, I haven't been taken to the MLS police too much and gotten busted, but it does happen occasionally. The other issue is many many real estate agents don't know how to solve the buyer's dilemma of having a house to sell. So what happens if they have a buyer that sees a house and go, oh, I love that home. I want to buy that home, but I can't buy it until I sell this home. They don't have a solution for it. Many times I'll get the phone call. So will your seller accept a sale contingency? And really what they're asking is, Mr. Seller, will you tie up your house for months and months and wait for me to maybe sell mine? And that's a ridiculous question, right? You have to have some kind of certainty in place because they have to make plans and move as well. So we have solutions for that. We have our cash offer buyers that will come in and absolutely buy almost any home that we put in there for a reasonable price so they can buy my listing, which makes my listings more valuable. So we offer that program. There's also other programs where I try to educate the other agents about it. There's 3 or 4 investors that will basically let the home seller take their equity out of the home without having a payment. And that's a really cool thing because you don't have to sell your home first, and you have the opportunity to buy the home that you want without having to get a new loan. Some people just go get a home equity line of credit, which is okay, but the rates are high and you got to make payments on that. So that solution of having the ball and chain of a house to sell really is a problem for many buyers, and it's a problem for many home sellers, and we definitely have that solution for you. So if you are thinking of making a move, give us a call. Not all real estate agents are the same. It's 1 month of school to get your license. There's no training, no standardization, and they send you out there and go sell, figure it out, bring me some of that commission. That's unfortunately how it works. But I have been trained, and I've been doing this 29 years, and I have solutions for people. So if you are thinking of making a move, we'd love to be one of the companies you interview. My name is Barb Schlinker. I'm the broker owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and the host of this show. And what we're talking about right now is how to sell your home for the most money. When we come back, what we're going to cover is some more ways that you can make sure that you've sold your home for the most money. Richard?
We're here talking with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, and you can reach Barb at 719-301-3900. Now, Barb, you've highlighted 3 of the 5 keys to maximize your sales price when you're selling a home. Be the best home on the block, create demand with aggressive marketing, and solve buyer problems. But tell us about the last 2.
Well, one of probably the most important ones is negotiating. I find this topic really, really interesting because there's very little training out there for real estate agents on negotiating. There's a few books about it, but at the end of the day, I don't think a lot of agents have training on it. They have a buyer, they show the buyer. They're maybe not really trained on how to ask the buyer for the order. I was just discussing that this morning with one of my clients. She was telling me that this one agent had been in her home, no kidding, with buyers 6 times and never wrote an offer. So it's like, wow, that to me sounds like a selling skill problem and nothing else, So, but negotiating at the end of the day is not something they train in the industry. I know that's true for you in the legal business, right, Richard?
It is. You have to do so much of this after you get out of law school. You learn it. Sometimes you have a mentor or somebody in the law firm that'll help you out with it, but a lot of it is kind of like you had to. You learn it on the job. But that was a long time ago for you. I wouldn't want to trust some new person learning on the job if I were selling my house.
Yeah, I mean, because first of all, they hire us really to be the go-between between their client and my client, right? So we are supposed to be negotiating, but at the end of the day, I am not the decision maker. I had some agent a couple weeks ago that was like, "Well, I want to discuss it with you," and her offer was so far apart. It was like a $600,000 home. Their offer came in 85,000 below. The seller's like, I'm sorry. No, why are you bothering me with that?" And I'm like, "Well, I have an obligation to present all offers. I don't care how low they are." Um, I said, "We could counter." And they're like, "No, we're not even in the ballpark. They're not worth trying." So at the end of the day, not everybody understands how to get the seller to the negotiating table, right? If they are looking for concessions or whether or not they're even going to get concessions at all. And then the circumstances play into that an awful lot. Like we're working with a client right now, and we were the first week, it was a little slow on the market. And then all of a sudden, this afternoon, we're going to be presenting about 4 or 5 offers to him. And many of the agents are calling, they're going, "Oh, well, will he accept a discount?" They're asking questions like that. Or they'll say, "How motivated is your seller?" And I finally told one agent, I said, "Look, I work for the seller. How do you think I'm going to answer that question? My job is to get the most for the seller or get them what they want. You want me to say, 'Oh, sure, they're motivated. They'll give you a discount just because you asked.'" Now, there might be some agents that answer that question, but I know the agreement I have with my client, which is to, meet their goals basically. And I can't answer that question, but I also can't be the one that answers about whether or not the seller will accept less. If I did, I would have to do that with absolute permission from the seller. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what I say. What matters is what's in writing between the buyer and seller when it comes to real estate. So some agents really aren't trained to do it. A lot of them think that their job is to get stuff, and they sort of lose sight on the goal of, hey, my job is to actually get the buyer the house or get the seller sold. So there's a lot of communication that takes place, and some agents will focus on the house's flaws and try to talk the buyer out of it, or say, "I deserve a discount just because of this, or because you didn't give me that discount, you're going to give me this discount." No, that's false logic. So sometimes you have to kind of, educate them in a very polite way and say, "Nope, that's not how it works. I'll discuss it with the seller, because at the end of the day, I have an obligation to present all offers, and it's not my call, it's their call." And so all those things take place during a transaction. It's really fun to do. It's my favorite part. So if you are thinking of making a move, you definitely want to hire somebody that has expertise in that arena as well as all others. Give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Barb Schlinker. She is your real estate voice. That's the name of the program. And Barb is the owner broker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. You can always reach Barb at 719-301-3900. When we come back, we're going to be talking about the top seller mistakes that can cause a home to not even sell, plus Barb's hot new listings. Stay tuned for that.